Alrighty, hey everyone, welcome back. Happy Thursday. So today's the day that we have been waiting for. IREN has reported their quarterly results along with their fiscal year-end results for 2025, which ends in June for them. Man, the stock is doing great. I listened to the conference call as well. It was great. You definitely have to listen to the conference call on your own. I think there's just a lot of information in there already as it is. I'm not going to dive into it. It's about an hour and like 15 minutes long or something like that, but you got to listen to it, especially the Q&A part of it. It's great. Dan and the company there did a great job, so I'm happy about that. We'll obviously dive into it as far as what the report was, as far as their operations, fiscal stuff, cash side, everything. We'll look into all that. But the stock is actually pumping after hours. It was pumping like 18% at one point. Came down a little bit to like around 12. Now it's around 14% last I checked here about 15 minutes ago. So the stock is doing really good here. There's a lot of good things happening for the stock. We'll cover it all in when we get into that portion of it. We do have a new story on Cipher and Bitfury. Bitfury continues to sell some more shares of Cipher there. We'll talk about how much they have sold here. And then we'll get into a Q&A here. That should be pretty much it. Bitcoin was up a little bit today. It's down now in the new day for Friday. Not surprising. We've been kind of going up and down here recently. On it, it's kind of been flat. It's kind of been boring, actually, with Bitcoin price action. Miners actually did pretty good today as well. So we'll talk about that as well. And then we'll get into Q&A as always, okay? But we got to go through this also. Not financial advice for only. Do your own research. Full disclosure below that. Hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously here. And let's take a look at what's going on here with Bitcoin today and Bitcoin miners as well. And here's what we got. So Bitcoin today was up a little bit on the day. It was up approximately 1.19%. It closed at 112,574. So it wasn't too bad. We were at least closed above the 100 simple day moving average there. Right now we're down a little bit as well, 0.91%. So I mean, it's like, yeah, I mean, the price action is what it is. We can't change it. It is what it is. We just have to kind of be a part of it, experience it, unfortunately. But I think we will continue to go up here higher. August is probably going to be a red month for us. We have a couple more days to go. What do we got? 3 more days to go in trading here. Unless we get a big bump tomorrow and Friday, I doubt we're going to be positive for the month of August here. We'll see. I was hoping we'd be positive, but it didn't play out that way for sure. Which leads me to also believe that this is going to be a different cycle, because historically we would have been in the green here. We're not in the green here right now. Okay, markets were in the green today as well. Ethereum was also in the green today, I believe. Let me see if we can pull that up. Yep, it was up in the green just a little bit, 0.1% there. On it, it's down on the new day as well. Miners, for the most part, were in the green. They did a lot better in the morning hours. Then Bitcoin was kind of coming down in price a little bit towards the middle of the afternoon. And the miners came down on that as well. You can see here Bitfarms was down 1.49% after being actually up on the day here. BitDeer was up just a little bit, 0.96%. Kango up a little bit as well, 0.41. Cipher up 0.43 as well, just a little bit. Cleanspark here was actually up higher, right? Actually had a really nice start to the day. Then came back down in price, down 0.31%. CORZ was up 1.06%. That one was higher as well. I mean, all these guys were up higher before they closed lower on the day here. Hive was flat on the day. Hot 8 was up just a little bit, 0.61. IREN was up at 1.8%, almost 9% on the day, and then closed at 3%. In the after hours, I believe it's still up like 14% here. Let's take a look at, see where it ends up at. Yeah, 14.71% after hours. So the market definitely liked the results there from them. Mara was up just a little bit, 0.69%. Riot was up 1.85% also, and Wolf was up a little bit better than the rest here. Was up 3.4% on the day. And then the Bitcoin HODL companies, MicroStrategy was down just a little bit, 0.94%. Galaxy was up just a little bit, 0.27%. Block was up 1.75%. Coin was down a little bit. Metaplanet was down a little bit. Exodus was down a little bit. They were down quite a bit, 4% there. What else do we have here? Nexon was up just a little bit. Semler was up a little bit. Phoenix was up 3.79. Game was up 1.29. Small miners, Annie for some reason was up almost 10% here on the day. I don't think there was any news on them. Let's see, Sphere. This was August 5th. Yeah, I mean, there was no news, but that thing was pumping today here. Argo was up a little bit, 2.31%. DG Power was up a little bit as well. DMG was down. Mawson was down. Canon was up 1.4%. Bitcoin ETF miners, for the miners side of things, were up a little bit, around 1% there overall. And the Ethereum holding companies were kind of mixed for the most part. BMNR was down another 1% there. BTBT, Bit Digital, was down 4.74%. That one's kind of bouncing off the 100 SMA as it is. BTCS was up just a little bit, 2.1%. That one's still holding on to that 50 SMA there. We'll see how long it can do that. Game was down 0.91%. SBET was down 4.2%. And then finally, Bitcoin dominance here for the day. We were down a little bit. We were down just 0.04% in dominance. We're kind of holding the line here a little bit as it is right now. Okay, miners in the after hours here. We can see that BitDeer right now is up 0.73%. Bitfarms is up just a little bit, 0.76 as well. Kango is down 1.64%. Cipher is down 0.43%. Cleanspark is down, well, it's actually up now. Okay, so it's up 0.21% there. CORZ Scientific up 0.42%. Hive Digital up 1.202%. HUT is up 0.91%. And we got IREN up being now 14.89%. Love seeing that. Mara was, let's see, where is it at? Finish up at, come on, 0.31% down. Riot was, or is, 0.07% down, and TeraWolf is down 0.21% as it is. Okay, Bitcoin here for the month of August, it's down 3.26% as of right now. We'll see, right? Unless we get a nice pump here on the last couple of days of trading for Bitcoin, we may end up being in the red here. Not what I expected, right? Because in 2021, like I said before, we were positive. 2017, a nice bull run as well. We were up 65%. 2013, we were up 30% here. And yeah, but that's kind of what I was expecting here. It didn't play out that way. So hopefully maybe September with the rate cuts coming in, we may actually end up being in the green here. Historically, it has not been a great month for us. 4 days or 4 months out of the 13 that we're going to have here are in the green only. So not a high percentage being in the green there, okay? Bitcoin ETF inflows continue to be positive here. Yesterday, BlackRock bought in another 50.9 million, so we had a positive inflow of 81.4 million. And today we have 115.2 million inflows. We'll see where BlackRock comes in as well. So at least we're having a little bit of a streak of inflows in Bitcoin ETFs. So that's at least looking pretty good here. Okay, we do have some good news stories, obviously. IREN is one of them. They have 2 good news stories here. The first one, well, we'll probably get into this one later. But IREN expands AI cloud to 10.9 thousand GPUs with NVIDIA preferred partner status and additional financing secured here. This is what pumped the stock up here today as well. And I think the results for the quarterly results along with the year-end results is what's pumping the stock up here in the after hours as well. So here's what we have on this. So IREN today announced it has secured NVIDIA. And why can I not highlight this? Yeah, it is what it is. Okay, sorry, I can't highlight this because it's a PDF. I wish IREN, Mike Alfred, if you're listening out there, if you could have IREN actually provide an HTML version of these kind of releases, it'd be great. You know, being in PDFs makes it a little bit more challenging for me. I'm not saying for me only, but for others as well. They want to talk about IREN. It would make it a lot easier for us. So see what you can do there. Okay, but here's what we got. So they have secured NVIDIA preferred partner status and procured an additional 1.12 thousand air-cooled NVIDIA B300 and 1.2 thousand liquid-cooled NVIDIA GB300s for approximately 168 million, expanding its total GPU fleet to 10.9 thousand NVIDIA GPUs. IREN has secured approximately 96 million in financing to support the purchase of the GB300s. The financing is structured as a 24-month lease and represents 100% of the purchase price with lease payments calculated utilizing a high single-digit interest rate. The B300 GPUs are funded from existing cash with further financing work streams underway. Okay, so that's great there. The GPUs will be installed over the coming months at IREN's Prince George campus, where construction is underway on a 10 megawatt IT load. Liquid-cooled installation capable of supporting more than 4.5 thousand GB300s. So that's awesome there. These NVIDIA B300s and GB300s, NVL72 systems will expand IREN's AI cloud over the coming months to approximately 10.9 thousand NVIDIA GPUs, consisting of the older 800 H100s, 1.1 thousand H200s, 5.4 thousand B200s, 2.4 thousand B300s, and 1.2 thousand GB300s. Those are the liquid-cooled there. Let's see here. We are pleased to have secured NVIDIA preferred partner status and additional non-dilutive GPU financing, enabling us to expand our cloud offering with liquid-cooled next-generation NVIDIA GB300 NVL72 systems, said Daniel Roberts, co-founder and co-CEO of IREN. Supporting both liquid-cooled and air-cooled systems within the same data center campus highlights the versatility of our data center platform, underpinned by nearly 3 gigawatts of grid-connected power and scalable to hundreds of thousands of GPUs. All right, so the market definitely liked that. I love this. I mean, they are going at it alone right now. getting all these GPUs and everything, which might be actually a good thing here, right? During the conference call, they stated that, if the deals for co-location are good, they are open to those. But right now, I guess they haven't had a good deal. But I'll talk more about it when we get into their financial results here, which we're going to cover next here, really quick as well. I probably should have pulled up the. I wonder if they have the presentation here. Let's take a look at that really quick. See if the presentation is available as well. Reports, analyst stock. Let me see where events. Where would that be under? Hold on. Events. All right, view latest presentation. That's what we want. All right, perfect. Here we go. So there's quite a few things in here that were also interesting as well. Record revenue was $501 million here, up 168%. Adjusted EBITDA, $270 million, up 395%. So that's great there. EBITDA was $278 million, up 1,344%. Net income, $160 million. So that's up $116 million as well. So that's good there. Operational execution, 2.9 gigawatts basically, plus 750 megawatts contracted grid connections, 810 megawatts plus 550 megawatts operating data centers. So that's up 550%. And then Bitcoin mining is up 400%. AI cloud capacity is up 132% as well. So great growth there. AI cloud GPU as a service. This is kind of what they're concentrating on right now, right? Scaling from 1.9 thousand to 10.9 thousand GPUs in the coming months. Supported by approximately 200 million of GPU financing, targeting 200 to 250 million annualized revenue by December 2025. So once everything is installed at 10.9, that's going to be huge for them. That's an additional 200 to 250 million. Their currently run rate for Bitcoin mining is about $1 billion as it is. So that's going to be just huge revenue for them here going forward. And then Bitcoin mining, right, 50 exahash installed mining capacity, pause further expansion to focus on AI growth, generating over $1 billion annualized revenue today as it is, which is true. Growth outlook here, AI cloud GPU as a service. So path to 60,000 NVIDIA Blackwell GPUs at British Columbia sites. Potential for 19,000 NVIDIA GB300s at Horizon 1. And then high margins, rapid return on investment capital, structural demand supports cash flow resilience. Then it states, I believe it was data centers and GPUs was about a 3-year ROI. From that 3 to 4, I think he said 3 years with that. So that's actually pretty good there. And then AI data center solutions, right? They have British Columbia here, 160 megawatts, Childress 750 megawatts, Sweetwater 2 gigawatts basically of that. And then they go into the results here on all this stuff here, which we can look at further. This is one of their data centers. Looks good. All that stuff. Scaling into growth AI cloud market. All right, here we go. So this was kind of interesting here. Expanding customer set, right? NVIDIA preferred customer, end user, Hume, platform providers, Together.ai, and demand partners is FluidStack. FluidStack, obviously, as you guys know, has a deal with TeraWulf, right? And Google backing there. During the conference call, when Dan was talking about FluidStack and Google, right, the relationship with them, he had a big smile on his face for some reason. I don't know if that's a tell that maybe something's coming down the pipe here in the coming months where they might have a deal with them, maybe for co-location or something like that. But he just had this grin and like a happy grin on his face when talking about it. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. You guys can let me know if you guys saw the same thing. But I saw that. I'm like, man, this might be really good for him here. So I saw that. That's probably like the most interesting part of the Q&A part of it, along with the presentation as well. That kind of stood out to me. Everything else was also great in there. So definitely take a listen to that conference call there. Right, 10,000 GPU expansion underway. Okay, illustrative revenue payback. Right, 2 years on GPUs, 3 years for GPUs and infrastructure there. So that's actually pretty good considering everything. So I like that time frame. That's actually pretty good. Like I said, it's actually might be really good here. On that, and then they have a 60,000 GPU pathway set forward on it. AI data center updates here, Childress. You guys can obviously take a look at all this stuff here. There's a lot of good information on this. They did a fantastic job with the press release or the conference call as well. So here's what we got, right? We already talked about the expansion to 10.9 GPUs, 200 to 250 million AI cloud annualized revenue by December 2025. GPU financing, we talked about that. And your liquid cooled GB300 also as well. All right, highlights, here we go. So Q4 fiscal year end 2025, revenue of 187.3 million, net income of 176.9 million. Adjusted EBITDA, we talked about that already. Approaching 1.25 billion total annualized revenue. 1 billion annualized from Bitcoin mining here, as long as the economics stay the same. Bitcoin doesn't crash, right? And then 200 to 250 million annualized revenue from AI. Capacity, we talked about that already. Financial and operational results here, record results. So revenue increased to a record 501 million, up 168%. Net income increased as well to 86.9 million. So fiscal year in 24, they had a loss of 28.9. Adjusted EBITDA, we talked about that, 269.7 million. EBITDA increased to a record 278.2 million. Operational execution there, contracted grid connected power increased to 2.9 gigawatts. Operating data center capacity increased to 810 megawatts. Bitcoin mining capacity increased to 50 exahash. AI cloud capacity increased to 1.9. All that stuff. They did state that the Bitcoin mining, their all-in cost for electricity, I'm guessing operations there as well, was around $36,000, which is really good. I actually have them lower, but that I think is just only for electricity there. Let's see. Then you got basically project updates here. You guys can read that on British Columbia, Childress, Sweetwater as well. Right, they're building on Horizon and Childress, Horizon 2 as well. Those are both going to be 50 megawatts IT loads, liquid cooled. First one's going to be on track for Q4 2025, and then the other one's going to be site work and procurement are underway as well. So they're doing everything right here, and the stock is getting rewarded on it. So which is great to see. I was actually thinking about selling this thing, not selling all of it, but selling a portion, like 10 to 50, maybe 20%. Then after some reflection, some deep thinking on it and everything else, I decided not to sell, which was looking now is definitely the right decision to make. I just, looking at everything that's going on here, I just saw huge potential with them. I think they can go up even much higher from where they are right now. And if they get a co-location deal, the stock is going to run like crazy. If they don't get that, I think with them just becoming their own operator there and having their own cloud for customers is going to generate a heck of a lot of revenue for them as well. So it's almost like a win-win situation. You win if they get a co-location. You win if they don't get a co-location because they'll probably build out their own self GPUs, as a service part of it. So I just see no red flags right now with this one, and I think it can definitely go up much higher here. So could it go 5x potentially? I think it's possible from where we are right now, but it's going to take maybe a year to 2 years to get there, I think. But they are executing on everything properly. I don't see any red flags right now as it is. All right, so there's that. Let's take a look at the numbers that I do have here for IREN right now as it is. All right, I should update the number of shares. Number of shares did increase here for them. They had about a 21% dilution here in the quarter, right? 271 million now compared to 224 million. As it is, that gives them a market cap of 6.2 billion with the after hours action here. I think they reached over 7 billion. This now makes them actually the largest miner AI data center company within the miners, at least, right? At 7 billion, that definitely takes them above Marathon, which was the biggest as far as market cap. So they are the lead right now. They are the top dog in this space as it is. And, hopefully you guys saw that maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, when we started talking about it. I started talking about actually like probably 3 years ago, I think it was in 2022. And you guys know at that point I was interested in them. We had a little blimp on the radar there for them with the special purpose vehicles that they had to return. He kept keeping an eye on them. And then obviously last year when they started being really aggressive on their growth for Bitcoin mining, that's when I really got into it. And then obviously the HPCI and everything else that got into it has helped out tremendously this year. So I'm happy with what I got. I'm up definitely like around 200% right now on it. I'm going to hold on to it for a bit longer here, see where we're going to end up at. Okay, so there's that. On that operations, obviously we talked about it for July already. Last 4 quarters revenue here, 187 million, right? So look at this nice improvement in revenue here. Current quarter, I'm estimating about 241 million. That's if they have the same more or less revenue for AI side of things. And Bitcoin actually is going to be the one that's going to be driving them up higher because they're going to be at 50 exahash for a number of months here instead of scaling up to it. So that's another huge quarter of growth there for them. Last 4 quarters operating cost minus depreciation here. Got them at about 93 million. So that is an increase there. Obviously, they got to 50 exahash. That's going to cost more to operate and everything else. Plus, they're building out the GPU data centers and all that stuff. Okay. Cost to mine 1 Bitcoin minus depreciation, I got them at 28.7 thousand here. So that's up a little bit from the 26. And I think that's just for the electrical side of things. Does not include any of the operation side of things in there, which they might include in it as well. They're saying it's 36,000, somewhere around there. So that's really good there. Bitcoin mine quarterly up nicely to 1,826 here. Debt to equity 0.6178. So it's still really good there, right? It's under 1. Current ratio higher is better, 4.29. Healthy balance sheet there, no complaints there. Total current assets 641 million. Current liabilities 149 million. So that's actually come down. They did rejig some things as far as where they are reported, and that's because they transitioned over to the United States GAAP accounting system as well, and you'll see that in the numbers down below. We'll get into some of these numbers here in a second here, but here's what we have. Right, there's some things that have changed here. Some things have been added. So deposit and prepaid expenses has been added here. Derivative assets have been added. Income taxes receivable, other receivables as well has been added. And like payments and other assets has been transitioned over to something else here. So total current assets 641, huge increase from the 254 that they had the prior quarter there. Going down here to total assets, that also increased quite tremendously by about 1 billion here. So 2.9 billion here compared to 1.9 billion. And then things that got added in here because the gap was deposit and prepaid expenses, financial assets, derivative assets as well. And let me see if there's anything else. I think that's it that was added in here. It was fresh. Property and plant equipment increased about 400 million or so on that one. So this looks really good here. Current liabilities, we do have some new line items here. Accounts payable, operating lease liability as well. Those are 2 new ones, and other liabilities in current portion. That's a new thing here as well. So that came in at 149 million there on that one. And then other non-current liabilities, the convertible notes payable, that's a new one there. That came in at 962 million for them. And total liabilities came in at 1.2 billion. So that's obviously a huge increase there, and that's because of that being there on that one. Okay. Total liabilities and stockholder equity, 2.9 billion here from 1.9, almost 2 billion there. So nice increase there. Revenues, we talked about that a little bit here. Self-mining came in at 180.3 million. I came really close to that, within like 400,000 or something like that. So we're really close to that. AI cloud services also increased to 6.9. I think they combined the other services revenue into that, maybe, or was it maybe a part of it? I'm not sure. Or maybe they didn't get anything for it. I'm not sure. But that was something new there, that maybe because of the change to GAAP, maybe that's why it's being reported that way. And then over here, cost of revenue also changed out a little bit here. Bitcoin mining came in at 52,000 or 52 million here. AI cloud services came in at 475,000 there. Total cost of revenue was 52.8 million. That's new line items here on the quarterly results for them. Going down here to expenses, new things that were on here are gain, loss, and sale of assets, selling, general, administrative expenses. That's been now lumped into one thing. They did, in the past at least, they segregated it out. I kind of like the way that was segregated out before than being all lumped in there. And then depreciation and amortization stayed the same, right? But that definitely jumped up to 63.8 million there. What other things do we have on here that were added new here? I think the only one was other income. Yeah, other income was added in here as a new line item as well. That's it. Yeah, so total operating expenses came in at 113 million. Operating profit came in at 20 million there. And then going down here to, let's see, what else do we have here that was new? Okay, we got a bunch of things that were new here. Increase, decrease in fair value of assets held for sale. That's a new line item. Realized gain, loss on financial assets. That's a new one, but that one was reported as 0. Unrealized gain also came in new, 147 million there. Gain on partial extinguishment of financial liabilities. That was 9 million there. And other non-operating income was a new line item as well at 523,000 so far. The big one, unrealized gain on financial instruments. Not sure what that is, but that was definitely a huge improvement for them. 147 million there, uptick. And that kind of helped them out, right, to be profit loss before income tax benefit. Came in at 174 million. And then down here, net loss came in at 176 million. And that gave us basic shares per share, or EPS per basic share, 74 cents. And diluted came in at 66 cents. So that's the way it kind of came in at here. And I had to find the stock-based compensation. I'm at 12.4 million. Let me know if you guys have that also, or if you have something other number for them. But that's still pretty low here. That's really good here because I think, let me see, if we go back up here, stock-based compensation, where is it at? Share-based payments, I mean, it's up a little bit from where it was, 7.7 thousand, or 7.7 million, sorry. So I mean, they had a great quarter. They deserve a little bit of bonus there. So I'm okay with that. But overall, really good numbers here. We're seeing growth, obviously, is what we want to see, right? Increased revenues, everything else. Increasing a little bit, not much, but definitely love seeing that. And then going back up here, we can see, let me see here, where we got book to value of equity, 1.8 billion. Price to book ratio, 3.4. Enterprise value is 6.8 billion there. EBITDA was 243 million. Is that right? Yeah, 243 million there on that one. Debt to EBITDA was 4.69. Revenue, 187 million, obviously, like we talked about. General administrative compensation, I probably should look that. Let me see, we probably have to update that because things changed on that one. See, that's the hard part. They put everything into it. Selling general administrative on that. We'll just do this. Put it up there, see what that comes in at. Overall, 21%, 53%. So I got to break that out probably because in the past they did break that out where you had the wages. And before it was just employee benefit expense along with share-based compensation. I think they're putting in other things in there as well. Probably other expenses. I don't know what else they're putting into it. But I may have to look into that and actually break that out because that does seem kind of high here because they were kind of low actually in the past and it's been getting lower. So I would imagine that would still be the case here, but they're probably including some other stuff in there as well. All right. Talked about share-based, not shares, but talked about the shares. Shares definitely increased there. And overall, things are looking good here for them. So based on that information and everything else here, if we look at the last 3 quarters that are reported in the current quarter that we're in, I'm in between 1866 and 2799 there, just on that number. They are at 2304. They're looking at fairly valued, but if we use the numbers for July update, multiply that times 12 months, and include some of the HPCI revenue that they're getting already from their cloud services, I'm in between 2779 and 4168 on that one. So that's looking pretty good there on it. So we still have ways to go, I believe, from where we are right now. And then if they get more GPUs installed, if they buy more GPUs, if they get a co-location deal, we're definitely going up higher from here where we are right now. So that's the main reason why I held on to it. I just see a lot more good things happening here in IREN than I do see possibly bad things. Possible bad things, Bitcoin price going down in value, but that's going to be bad for all the miners anyway, so that doesn't really negate anything. But yeah, I'm a happy camper. Love what I'm seeing here from the IREN and company. Great job by them. I just want them to continue to execute like they have. And I'm going to be holding on probably for probably at least another year to 2 years. I've held on to it for a year already. I have no problems holding on to it for a little bit longer here. I'm not looking to make a quick buck. I'm looking to make, transformative wealth potential. So I see this as a possibility with them, right? Eric Jackson there on Twitter posted that we could possibly $100 out of this one, if not more. Mike has obviously been bullish with it as well. Others on Twitter have been also bullish. Right, so I'm holding on to it. I'm going to hold on to it. But you guys let me know what you guys think of this one. I think this is a gem. I think this one is a really good gem here to hold on for at least another year or so. All right, that's it on that one. So happy camper there. Let's get into the last thing that we got on here, which is on Cipher and Bitfury. Bitfury has continued to sell here some more. It looks like they sold about 1.2 million shares here in the last couple of days, right? 826 and 827. They sold 700,000 there, 500,000 there at 681 and 707. They are now down to about 89 million shares roughly, almost 89 3/4 or so on that one. So they still have a lot of shares they could possibly sell, which is not great because every time the stock seems to go up, it seems like they're selling it, which is not great. It's like, what's up with you guys? You guys don't believe that the stock is going to go up higher from here? But they're obviously 10% owner there on it. This is V3 Holdings, 10% owner. You got Bitfury, obviously 10% owner as well. 10% owner and Vivalis, 10% owner. So, you still got definitely a lot of 10% owners there as it is. So it is unfortunate that they are selling. That's definitely putting some sell pressure on the stock, even though it's trying to go up here. But it is what it is. All right. Okay, that is it. We've been going for about a half an hour now. Let's get into Q&A here, see what you guys have to say on IREN and everything else. Now, if some of the other miners could do this as well, oh my gosh, I think we'd be as happy as pigs in a mud bath, right? at that point if the other miners do the same thing here. Maybe they will still, with Bitcoin going up to 150,000, 200,000, whatever it might be. All right, but as always, spreadsheets are available to my Patreon members there. Love the support that I get from those guys and gals in there. And you guys obviously will get the spreadsheet updated tomorrow. If you want to join there, get access to all the spreadsheets that I have and everything else, link is down in the description, a couple bucks a month. Help support what I do. That's it. That's my sales pitch. That's all you guys get from me. You don't get any sponsors or anything else. I'm my own self-sponsor. You guys sponsor me, basically. You guys help me do what I do. So I greatly appreciate you guys there. All right, let's get into Q&A here. As always, questions, if you could preface those with a question mark or a Q, I'd appreciate it. And we're going to try and get through everything here as well. But be patient. I'm going to scroll my way up and work my way down as always. So it's going to take me a while to catch up with everybody here. But I will get through all of the questions here as well. Okay. All right. MJS says, I listened to IREN conference call, and it's time to sell Cleanspark and buy only IREN and Cipher. All other miners are too risky. Game over. Maybe. I wouldn't count Cleanspark out just yet. Right? I sold last year, if you recall, Cleanspark, a portion of it to buy into IREN. That was a great call at that point. Right? IREN, I saw the growth that they were having. I couldn't miss out on that one. Like, I've been watching that one for a long time. So, cheers to IREN at this point. I need to take a sip because my throat's starting to get dry. But cheers to IREN and company there. They did a great job. All right, let's see here. What else we got here? Dan says, BTC doesn't have much gas left in the tank. Looking at 143,000 tops by December, then 2026 bear market. I don't know. What would you consider a bear market, though? Being down 20, 30%, or are you thinking that we're going to be down, 60, 70% like we have been in the past? I don't know if we're going to see that. A lot more people are coming on board with that kind of opinion, which is kind of nice because I'm not alone on it anymore. But I'm thinking that we might have an extended cycle here with Bitcoin, but we'll see. All right. Let's see. Ja has a question here. Hi, Seb. Have you compared between HPCI companies and the ones close to getting deals? Well, they all say that they're close to getting deals, or well, at least Cipher, IREN, right, are close to getting deals potentially. The other ones are in the works, right? They're having communications with potential customers there, but you really don't know how close they are, so it's kind of hard to figure out which one's the closest. You could try to maybe decipher it from their conference calls or something like that, where, like I said, Dan had a big smirk on his face when he was talking about FluidStack and Google there. Maybe there's something there about it. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. Nhut says, I own IREN, Cleanspark, and Bitfarms. Happy with IREN, but still down 12% for Cleanspark and 40% for Bitfarms. Could you please provide the target for IREN at the end of the year and any chances for Cleanspark and Bitfarms to double? I think Bitfarms and Cleanspark could double Bitcoin getting to like 200,000, right? I think at the very least they should double from where they are right now at that point. IREN here, I'm thinking, the way this thing is running, we could be $40 plus, especially Bitcoin goes up. We could be like $50 actually, somewhere around there, right? That's being conservative also, kind of sandbagging things. We could go up even higher though, but you never know. Gary says, I'm back for a day to hear IREN news. Great to have you back. Let's see, Gary, question, IREN now past Mara in market cap? Yes, they are. Yep. All right. Dad's Market Stats. Good evening. Getting assigned 100 shares of KULR tomorrow for an adjusted cost of $4.40 per share. Okay. Okay. Dan says IREN now same price as HUT. Well, don't look at the price. Look at the market cap of these guys, right? IREN has outperformed everybody this year. All right. Okay. Dad's Market Stat says, I'm also going in heavy on open stocks, sold 9 puts at the 4, 3.5, and 2.5 strike price, all while using margin. Okay. Gary says, hi, good day for IREN. It's been a great day for IREN. Dan says, IREN to 50 by end of year. What do you think, Seb? I think that's possible. Right, Bitcoin going up to possibly between somewhere 180,000, 200,000. That'd be one catalyst for it. Them continue to possibly buy more GPUs for their own AI stack for customers and things like that. That could also help out there. If they get a co-location deal with somebody, that's something to help out. We could be even going higher than 50 at that point. Andrew says, hi Seb, keep up the good work. Glad I sold Mara and Riot and added to my IREN and Cipher a couple months back. Now holding 10,000 of each and up well over. Wow. Okay, great. That's awesome to hear. All right. John, Cipher could make a similar run as IREN. I'm adding soon. It would be interesting to see if Cipher could also, start buying their own GPUs and doing a little mini data center like IREN is doing. I think that would be also great for the stock there. Yeah, I don't know. But I think they can do also very well. I mean, they got the potential there. All right. Andrea says, I own IREN, Hive, Cipher, and Mara. Only one I've lost money on is Mara. Okay. So you must have gotten it at a much higher price. Yeah, I'm thinking about just dumping the Mara shares that I have, which is 140 shares or 180 shares that I have of that one. I may just dump that one and be done with it. That's not doing anything. I did it as a deal basically with Crypto Klepto, and was it Crypto Klepto or somebody else? Maybe it was Crypto Klepto. That if I buy Mara's shares, he would buy like Cleanspark and IREN shares, I think, at that point. So I think he probably made out better than I did on that deal, having IREN shares there. All right. Let's see. Desmarket says I have 200 shares of Cipher, DCA 495. Okay, that's really good there. Let's see. Andrew says the only miner I ever lost money on was Riot twice. So did you sell at a loss then, I'm guessing, if you lost twice on it? Or was it just different cycles? Sauer says IREN $100 price target. I think maybe in 2026 sometime, but heck, we could be surprised by it and even get there this year if they get a co-location deal, right? Continue to grow, Bitcoin goes up nicely. Who knows? I'm in it for the ride though. Dad's Market Stats says Griffin had the best day today. I should have gone back in at $1. It was my biggest gainer this year for over 400%. Yeah, that was based on them merging with American BTC. Mark G damn at Cleanspark. Yeah, we need that one to pump as well. Daryl, question: I am now up 230% on 16,000 shares of IREN. Would you take some profit now and buy some Cleanspark since they are so undervalued? That is your call. Personally, I probably would not. I personally still believe that there's a lot more room to run up with IREN here as it is. So, but that's just me, and I'm willing to go down back to $18, $14 on IREN, and hold on to it for another year or two in order to get the gains I want to see. So that's just me though. You got to do what's right for you, right? You're up nicely, and you got a lot more shares than I do. I have only 7,000 shares of IREN, so you're definitely up nicely there. Maybe take a little bit off the table. Right? There's no shame in taking profits there. I probably should do the same thing. I probably should listen to my own advice and take some profits, but I'm just stubborn, and I'm, this is one of those once in a lifetime potential opportunities for me at least. So I'm willing to risk it a little bit more. All right. Shinshi question. Hello, Seb. Don't you think you should start covering Wolf stock again to reflect the sector HPCI since pure BTC miners are dying? If you ask me personally, I think you should. I do cover them already. We talked about it anytime they provide any kind of news updates or things like that. It's a little tougher to cover them when they don't provide monthly updates on the Bitcoin mining side of things. But we do cover them when they do report, a press release, financial results, things like that. We do cover them at that point. Okay. All right, Neville. I fear if you rotate out of IREN, you will eventually rotate back in at a much higher price. Say it with me, long-term hold. I agree with you there. I'm with you on that one. Okay. What else we got here? All right. Sauer says I could see IREN $40 to $50 by end of year. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm thinking also if things go well. Wayward says I'll try and hold, but I'm such a paper-handed little bitch. Okay. Denmark says sell options equals profit from having diamond hands. Okay, that's one way to do it as well. Daryl, question: I also hold 16,000 shares of Mara, which I am thinking of selling to buy Hive, as I know their HPC revenue will be growing exponentially. Any kind of thoughts? We don't know on that side of things. We think because they have a contract with, or they're making deals with Bell Canada, right? that they're going to generate pretty good revenue there, but we don't know, or at least I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be using their own data centers or if they're going to be using Bell Canada's data centers to put those machines in. So how much of a revenue are they going to be getting there? I need more, I guess you could say, information on it before I make that determination there on it. And we need to just hear some figures on it as far as what's the revenue going to be on it. But Mara has been a huge laggard here in the last 2 years, even maybe 3 years here. Okay, guy says, we keep hearing Cleanspark is undervalued and should be around 20. Cleanspark was over 20 when BTC was way under 100,000. We keep hearing that if BTC goes to 150,000, Cleanspark will run. I still think that's the case, right? I could be wrong on it, but I think with them having or being at 50 exahash, getting to 60 exahash, maybe a little bit beyond that as well, and now also thinking about getting to HPCI, I think there's potential for it. So I'm going to hold on to what I have. I have it at a very low average cost anyways. I'm still up about 75-80% on it. I'm not in any pain on it right now. If I was in pain, maybe I would reconsider holding on to it. But I think there's still more room for that one to run as well. It should be much higher from where it's at, right? But I don't control the market. I don't control the pricing on these things. I'm just looking at data and everything else of where they possibly should be. And that's even being kind of low on things, right? All right. Gary says, question, IREN hired a lot of new personnel for HPC AI, so raise costs. Yeah, that was part of it as well. Yeah. Right. Higher hash rate, 50 exahash. That's going to have a higher cost. You're going to need more people. HPC AI as well. That's growing. You're going to need more people for that. So, yeah, it's understandable there. All right. Benjamin's got a question here. Did you see the interview of Tom Lee and CNBC about AI? That we basically still early. Definitely got lucky that Bitcoin miners got into AI. I own Wolf, IREN, and Cleanspark. Yeah, I still think that we're early, right? A lot of the stuff that we're seeing right now is like the first inning of things. But the AI side of things, I mean, you're going to have, there's just so much growth to be had in there still. I mean, think about it. Tesla's building out the Optimus robots, right? Those things are going to need AI to be trained on, and then also possibly to use AI as well to do just basic things around the house for people or in factories or go to Mars, whatever it might be. You're going to need data centers for that. So XAI is probably going to be building out a bunch of data centers for that, if not Tesla itself. You're also going to have, Waymo. You got Tesla itself with their self-driving cars. Eventually, you're going to have self-driving semi-trucks. All this stuff is going to need AI. Whether it's going to be AI that's going to be on locally or AI in the cloud, you're going to need AI. So I think the growth is just going to be tremendous there going forward. I don't see it stopping here anytime soon on that one. All right. Guys, got a question. When Cleanspark will actually go to 20? Because last time Cleanspark ran in 2024 of November up to 18, many people bought at that price. Do you think it will beat 20 this year? Again, I would think that if Bitcoin gets to like 180,000, 200,000, I would think that it would get to at least like $20. I would think at that point, right? So yeah, if you bought in at a much higher price, you're not happy right now. If you got in at a much lower price, you're probably still happy here. So that's the quandary there a little bit. The price is the big determining factor of your happiness, I think, on a lot of this stuff. Bevnit asks, can you check if Riot sold more Bitfarms stock? I did check early today. I don't know if there was anything that came out afterwards, but I did check. Let me see here really quick if I can maybe look it up here really quick. But it didn't have anything in there at that point. Let me see. Riot platforms really quick. Ownership disclosures. Last one was maybe July 23rd. Report acquisition. Yeah, I think the last one was a while back. I haven't seen anything yet. Right platforms, 4.6. Yeah, the last one was 4.6%. That's the only one that I have on here for them. So no changes there, at least not yet. Okay. Daryl, I currently hold 36,000 shares of Cleanspark and will hold until at least the third week of September when BTC will be at 150,000. If the stock value doesn't start to move by then, I will probably sell. Okay. Yeah, you definitely got me beat on that. What do I got in Cleanspark? Cleanspark, I have 11,000 shares, I think, right now. So you got me way beat by that one. But yeah, if Bitcoin gets to 150,000, the stock is still at $9, $10, something like that, and geez, something's wrong. It's definitely not getting the love from the investors at that point. Guy asked, do you think Rate Tech Holdings will run from here? I don't even know who that is, to be honest with you. Daryl says, thanks again, Sebastian, for all your hard work and research. Much appreciated. You're very welcome, and thank you to all you guys and gals for coming in here nightly sometimes and having a chat with me. Greatly appreciate you guys. Angie, hi Seb, you spotted IREN before most and saw the greatness coming, but some early on because of you. Thank you. That's awesome to hear. You're very welcome. Yeah, I mean, if you guys recall, I was looking at them back in like probably 2022, I think it was, if you recall. Right, they were already on my radar at that point. Just saw some great growth from them. Pretty great team there as well. The only thing that spooked me a little bit was them with the special purpose vehicles, which they had miners associated with a loan that was backed by the miners. When things went south on Bitcoin, they had to also pretty much give back the machines there. So I was a little concerned by that. I wanted to see how they do going forward. And sure enough, within basically a year or so, they got back on track and started growing nicely here. And then at that point, when they said they're getting to, I think it was originally 30 exahash, and then they said they're getting 50 exahash, I'm like, okay, I got to get on board with this. This is great growth here, great company. I probably should have gotten in a little bit earlier, but you just never know. So better late than never, I guess. Star says IREN to $100, which would be great. Angie, which miner is the next IREN Cipher? Cipher potentially. Cipher has the potential there. Which other ones? The other ones I would say is also maybe BitDeer potentially, right? They're talking about having some HPC ideals potentially for their Ohio site or Ohio sites maybe even. After that, I would say maybe Bitfarms if they can get a deal for the Pennsylvania site. That one's in a pretty nice location as well, but they need to grow some more megawatts there as well. So those are the ones I would probably keep an eye on there. All right. What's the next catalyst for Cleanspark to run? We are running out of catalysts this year. Bitcoin to run. It's basically got to be Bitcoin. And if they can actually provide some guidance on their HPCI ambitions as well, I think that would probably help also. Guy, what happened to Cleanspark? What really went wrong for them and where they lacked and why the stock price struggled? The main thing for them was, I think, and we could probably say definitively that that was the case, was them being pure Bitcoin miners, right, for maybe too long. And maybe that's why Zach is out as CEO and Matt is in there as CEO. Maybe that's the reason why Zach was just, he's going all in on Bitcoin mining, while other companies were pivoting, not completely pivoting, but at least looking into HPCI and getting into HPCI as well. Where Cleanspark did not do that along with Mara. So we saw both Cleanspark and Mara be the laggards here in the last year or so on that. So that's what I'm attributing it to right now. Can they turn it around? I think they can. But they're a little bit behind the ball there. We need to have, obviously, more megawatts, more things like that. They do have the cash to do it. They got plenty of Bitcoin if they wanted to spend some of the Bitcoin there to buy up sites and things like that. So they do have optionality there as well. All right. CW Song says, IREN just jumped into my top position today. Nice. IREN's been my top position here probably in the last couple of weeks. It was a battle between Cleanspark and IREN for a while there as far as who has the most value for me. But just recently it has definitely flipped more IREN here as the price has been going up here. Jordan says Chris must be drowning in adult beverages tonight. Possibly. I haven't seen Chris in a while, so I'm a little worried about him. Hope he's okay. Question, Seb, how do you feel about the top fan feature? Top fan feature. I'm not sure what you're referencing there on that one. Kyle says we can do something Chris back. Yeah, definitely love to hear that he's okay at least. W Song, I'm starting to take some profits now with the recent IREN gains. And that's perfectly fine, right? I mean, that's completely up to you there. And definitely, if you take profits, there's no shame in taking profits. I looked at the numbers here today, and if I was to take like 20% cut on it today, and the stock went up like 3x, just a 3x from here, I would have missed out about 125,000 in possible gains. I'm like, okay, well, I can hold off for a little bit while longer, and I can just hold on. We'll see where we go from there. All right, Sarah says, Fred Thiel screwed investors, diluted way too much. I can't agree with you there on the dilution side of things. It has been way too much dilution there. Let's see. David says, buy with your whole butt. Breakout coming out tomorrow from an IREN, I'm guessing you're talking about there. Devil says, instead of saying a cuss has to be played. Yeah, I don't usually cuss, right? So I barely ever cuss, I don't think. Then that just goes in my own personal life or even on here. So I think you can use other words to describe your emotions than profanity sometimes. But sometimes I think profanity also fits. I mean, you smack your thumb or something like that, you're going to be cussing up a storm at that point, right? But that's understood. Okay. LB, hey, Sebastian, question, thoughts on Bitdeer? Bitdeer has a lot of growth this year into Bitcoin mining itself. They're talking about HPC AI for their site in Ohio, maybe another site as well. I can't remember exactly, but they do have potential. Big thing, the only thing I didn't like that I saw from the quarterly results was the low profit margin on their ASIC manufacturing and selling those, right? I thought that would be actually better on it, but maybe they're just trying to break into the market. Also, didn't see that huge of a volume of sell from them. But again, they're kind of new to the market for ASICs. So I don't know. I think they do have quite a bit more potential here going forward. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, I think they should be probably even priced better than where they are right now. Sour says, maybe I was too harsh on Chris. Now he's gone, possibly. Yeah, that's why I say be nice to everybody. Everybody has their own opinions there, right? I could be wrong, I could be right, they could be right, and they could be wrong also, but keep it cordial. Shinchi question, I'm switching all of my Mara stock position to IREN. I can't afford to miss the IREN growth. Bye-bye Mara, as there is not much more to gain if BTC cycle tops between 140. Yeah, yeah, at that point, yeah. Benny says, Mara and Cleanspark charts are the best looking charts. Everyone will be caught off guard. That could also happen, right? Where it's just manipulated down to a certain point and then they eventually run as well. So that is also a possibility. All right. SH's got a question here. What is the chance Bitfarms gets acquired or having the partnership with the Department of Defense for HPC? Oh, geez, I don't know. That I don't know. Acquired, I don't think they're going to get acquired. I mean, Riot tried to acquire them, and they were pretty stubborn about that. They did not want to get acquired. So I don't see that happening unless you get a major deal there and somebody's going to, pay a nice hefty premium on it. So I don't see that happening. Let's see. Ela, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. What's your exit strategy on IREN? Oh, gosh. That one has so much potential. I don't know. I'll probably start to slowly sell out if it gets to like $50, I think. At $50, I would be happy to start slowly selling out of that one. Right? But that one has tremendous potential here, I think. We'll see I think they can execute on it. Historically, they have executed, so we shall see. Sour says, Cleanspark chart is coiling hard. Okay, so that means we could have a nice little rocket ship happening there. Let's see. MJS says, pure Bitcoin miners are dead, declining now, declining low margin business with high capex needs. And I think that's mainly because, the narrative has changed to HPC AI. Bitcoin has also acted differently this cycle than it has in the past. Bitcoin has continued to be in these kind of, this year it's only up, 8-12% or something like that on the year from where it started. So it hasn't been a great year for Bitcoin in general. Miners have also not had a great year for the most part that are pure plays. The ones that have had a okay year are the ones that have been obviously ambitious in HPC AI. So it is what it is. Okay. As from me, he's got a question. What do you think is the HPC AI potential for Wi-Fi? Wi-Fi is obviously a bit digital spin-off there. I mean, they have these smaller sites for megawatts. I'm not sure what their goals are going forward. Will they try to get, these sites that are 50 to 100 megawatts, 200 megawatts, whatever it might be? I don't see that being the case here. I think they're happy with these smaller sites that are, like I said, like 5, 8, maybe 15 megawatts or something like that. And they're going in the direction. So I don't know how much that's going to take a lot of those sites to increase their revenue tremendously here. So I don't know. Gary says, question, IREN is high market cap for Bitcoin miner, bargain basement price for a neo cloud provider. Yep, I would agree there. CoreWeave isn't profitable and 80 billion market cap compared to IREN at 6 billion and profitable. Yeah, I agree with you there, Gary. No questions there. Roger, Is September going to be a slow month and we wait for October? Remind, Cleanspark was 18 a year ago when Trump won. Yeah. Excuse me. Um, yes, they were up much higher, so were others as well. They got beaten down from the beginning of the year towards April. They have bounced back, but they haven't bounced back close to the 18 yet, right? They got to like $14, $13 just a couple of weeks ago, and they've come down here as well. CJ says, "Holy moly, you guys have so many more shares. I'm not even in the realm." Yeah, I mean, there's people that have 5, 10 times more shares than I have. I feel like a little peanut there compared to some of you guys, which is awesome. I love seeing that you guys are that into it. MJS says, listening to IREN's conference call, building and running data centers and HPC are very difficult. That's why Cleanspark, Mara et al. Are screwed. It's not an easy business, I will say that, to run and operate data centers, but it's something that you can learn. I don't think that there's a disadvantage or an advantage to anybody in this space. You can hire people to help you out. You can hire consultants, things like that, to help you out. Everything is doable if you have the money to do it. And sometimes being late to the party could be actually a benefit, because you see what others have done, what mistakes have they made, where can you correct on things, where can you improve on things as well. So when you do get into it, you maybe have a little bit of an upper hand, maybe, right? Okay. How do you feel about the top fan feature on YouTube videos? Oh, you're talking about like the rating for the fans, I think, or the comments there. I'm okay with it. I mean, it does maybe increase engagement. People, want to be the top fan there on that. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. Okay. SH, how can we find out how much they still own in Bitfarms since Riot own less than 5% and it doesn't have to report the data? Ooh, if it's less than 5%, they have to report it. Yeah, then I don't know how we find out. I think we'll find out possibly in their quarterly results at that point. Or they might just file it anyways and be done with it when they're completely out. Yeah, that's a good point there. I forgot about that. Sarah says, IREN's going to get halted tomorrow. Watch. IREN's on Moonwatch, okay? Where's it at right now in the after hours? Did it go up anymore here from 14? Let's see. Right now it's still showing. It's catching up. Let's see. It's at 15% right now on that one. So in the after hours. We'll see if it gets halted. Right. What's the trigger to halt? Is it... I'm not sure what the halt is on that one. Isn't it to the downside, not to the upside? What is the halt status? Does the stock go up like 50% or something like that within a certain amount of time, or 30% in the amount of time it gets halted for a period of time? Yeah, but I think you should have a halt to the downside, not to the upside. But that's just me. Okay, let's go back here. What else do we have here? All right. Angie says, Star Melon, that Cleanspark bag must be heavy. It's not coiling, so don't pass out waiting. Okay. Different opinions there. Adam, will IREN really generate enough AI revenue to counter the bear market? Again, what do we mean by bear market? Are we talking about 20, 30% down in Bitcoin, which we have seen here just in the last year 2 times already? I don't know if we're going to have a bear market in Bitcoin here. I don't. Could be wrong on that, but I just don't see that happening here next year and even the following year potentially. Okay. Do we lose both Chris's? Possibly. Guy says, we love you. Thank you for your honest opinions and hard work. Other YouTubers look like scripted, but you look natural and real. It's all from the head. I don't have any scripts or nothing like that. It's just my own thoughts, my opinions. I look at the data. I talk to you guys about the data, what I see. And I appreciate that. That's all that I can do. I don't have the time to script things because I already spent too much time on this as it is. Denier, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Do you think IREN will do offerings? Offering as in convertible notes or something like that? Maybe, maybe not. with them being now a preferred partner of NVIDIA, maybe they can get some more promising deals for project-based financing, maybe something like that. They're already getting some of that deals right now as it is, so I don't know. They could still, I still think that they have access to their ATM, so they could be doing the ATM here, but with the stock price being right now at where it's at, I think it's kind of nice to kind of pull on it a little bit. You don't want to pull too much on it to stop the momentum of the stock, but you can definitely pull on it right now with the stock being, $25, $26 as it is. S. Romney says, I only had 1,000 shares of IREN, around $10, sold 300 at 20, holding the remaining through a bear market if we have one. Okay, again, I don't think we're going to have one, but I could be wrong. Okay, Shinshi, a question, if September is bloody for BTC and stocks, then pure miners will bleed even more. I think it will find safety under IREN for September. Yeah, if September's not a great month for us, but again, if we have the Fed lowering interest rates in September, risk on assets should do well. Bitcoin miners are risk on assets. Those guys should do well in that environment. Dad's Market Stats says everyone buy the dip in September, especially before the rate cuts. Okay, yeah, expected September 16th or 17th. I don't remember exact day. Yeah, I would agree with you there, right? If we do get a rate cut, oh my gosh, we're off to the races at that point. Okay. Shinshi question said, between Wolf and IREN, who will have a better next 12 months? Oh gosh, I would think IREN. I would really think IREN. IREN has the potential there. So that's the way I would go. Okay. Do you think IREN will come back down because of profit taking? I mean, it might come down a little bit here. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. But based on the action just in the overnight hours, I think it's going to probably pump up a little bit more in the morning, and then maybe we'll have a little bit of correction towards the end of the morning, and we'll see where we end up at tomorrow. But it's possible. I'm not saying it's not out of the question. All right. Meat Force question. I sold IREN at 1965, hoping for a pullback to buy back in lower. Have I stuffed up and missed the boat, or you think we see a pullback early September? Thanks. I don't. I mean, if we do see a pullback on IREN, oh gosh, I don't know. Let's see. Let's take a look at the chart here. We're kind of in uncharted territory here with IREN as it is already. They were around this price range when they came public back in, what was that back in? Let me go on the weekly chart here a little bit, right? So if we go back to the weekly chart here, look at this right there. They opened up, let me see if we can have this. The high was 28.25. We got close to that already today as it is. But we're basically in uncharted territory with them right now. Let me see if we can do that. There we go. I mean, we got to a low of $1. This was back in December 22nd when everything kind of bottomed out here. But right now, I mean, yeah, we're kind of in, like I said, uncharted territory with this one. We don't have a lot of lines here. I think there's support around $18.65. We do have right $18 to $19. I would say there's maybe some support there. We have a little bit maybe support right around this range, around 17 right now. We kind of bounced off of it right here as well. I don't know. If you do get a dip, buy on the dips and maybe dollar cost average into it at that point. Right, if it doesn't come down here. I just don't know where the bottom or how low it will go before it continues to go up here. I mean, we're already up 15% here on it. It is at, where's it at right now? Yeah, it's up to 26.49 in the after hours as well. So I don't know. I wish I knew. I wish I had a crystal ball and I could tell you guys all this stuff, but I do not know. Okay. All right, Nikki. Hey Seb, which BTC miner stock run last bull run the best? Last one was Mara. Mara was up 70x from the bottom. Followed by Mara was Riot. Riot was up 40 some X. But Mara was the only one that actually went up with Bitcoin to the April high that we had. Was it April? Yeah, it was April high in 2021 of 63,000. Then we actually went down in price in Bitcoin right through the summer and up towards November, December timeframe where Bitcoin got to 69,000, and Mara at that point followed it. That was the only one that did that. Everybody else pretty much languished after that, after the first run up. All right, Mr. X, do you think Cleanspark will have a better upside than IREN and Riot the next 6 to 12 months? I do not, unless they really do provide some guidance on HPCI. That's, yeah, I would say that. All right. Okay, let's see. Gary says, IREN planned the move to HPCI in 2018 when they bought a data center company. Dan is a time traveler who knows the future. Okay. Now you got to talk to him then a little bit more, I guess. Fred Red, I've been a Patreon member for the last 20 months. It's been a great ride. I went much deeper into IREN than you. You have great alpha, helped me stay in IREN. That's awesome to hear. Thank you. I appreciate that. And thank you for being a member for that long. There's quite a few of you guys that are maybe that long, maybe even longer there. So I really appreciate it. Yeah, Angie says IREN is 26.50 after hours right now. It's doing great. Kokani, I'm hoping IREN will hit $35 on Friday. Tomorrow? I mean, that'd be great. But I don't know if that's going to happen there. All right. Let's see. Seb's freezing for anyone else. Let me see here. I do have a little bit of a warning here. Warning, the stream's current bit rate is lower than recommended. Not sure why that is. Maybe YouTube issue. All right. You think BTC could run even after March 2026 or after that it will be flat? I think it will run. Personally, I think it will run. But again, I could be wrong on that. All right. Abhilesh asks question, will IREN dip tomorrow with July PCE data? Depending what the data is like, I don't know. It might have enough good news here to keep it up. We'll see. All right. Volmer asks, what is the RSI for IREN on the daily chart here? Let's take a look at, where's IREN? IREN, okay, I have IREN right here right now as it is. Pull it up here on the screen for you guys here. IREN on the RSI. Right, IREN, what are we looking at? Daily, okay. Daily, it is below 70 right now as it is. So it can run a little bit more. On the weekly, it's getting a little hot there, but it can definitely stay up there much longer. So we could definitely go up higher. We could get to like $35, and then have a little pullback, back down to 25 or something like that, and continue back up. But I do think that there's still a little bit more room to run on the monthly. We're getting close to 70 here on the monthly. We could definitely go up higher and stay there for a little bit longer as well. So that's that other question. All right, go back here. I think I'm catching up to all your guys' questions here. Okay. Shinshi, who are the top institutional owners in IREN and can we trust them to hold? Let me see. I don't know if I have that. Let me see here really quick. Let me see if I can pull that up. Do I have that up on here? I do. Let's see if I can find that information really quick. It is verifying the app. Okay, come on. Okay, let's see. I may not be able to get that information, but we'll see. Oh, gosh. Stop that. Do that. My watch list. Okay, where is it at? Let's see here. Let's take a look at IREN really quick. Bear with me while I try to pull this up to see if I can even do this. Later. Institutions. Okay. I don't know who the highest ones are going to be here, but you might be able to see this here. Let me see. I think I can pull this up. Maybe this. See if this works. Okay. That works. All right. So 280 institutions are in IREN right now. 51 increase in the last month, it looks like. 26 million shares increased in the last month. It is now 78.92% owned by institutions and an 11% increase in the last month as well. Let's see if we can have percentage owned. Can I filter by that? Yes, I can. Beta Shares Capital owns, looks like 0.19% of the shares there. Biden, BlackRock. There's just a bunch of these things in here. I don't know who else owns more, but this is the data that I have here. We might be able to find the data on, where's it going to be here? Maybe in Yahoo Finance. Let's see here if we can find it in their holders as well on that one. Holders breakdown. 70% owned by institutions. Bit Capital has 7.5% there. BIT Capital, FMR, Jane Street, Group 1. I think they're going to be holding on to it. Right, they also get like front row seats with the management there. to discuss things. If they see things positive, they're going to hold on to it. So I don't see that as being an issue right now. Okay, what else we have here as far as questions? All right, Fred asks, why would anyone sell winners IREN and put into losers? Cleanspark, I own Cleanspark, but I'd become a smaller position. IREN is over 50%. Hold your winners. I agree. Yep. So did you talk about IREN earnings and why it is up so much in after hours? Yeah, I talked about it. We talked about probably like the first 10, 15 minutes of the show, into the show. We talked about it at that point. But it's up because of great earnings, great guidance as well, growing forward. They're bought more GPUs as well, Blackwells from NVIDIA. So that's helping the stock out there. And they talked about, just the possibilities that they have available to them. I also thought that during the conference call, Dan had a big smirk, happy smirk on his face when he was talking about FluidStack and Google there as, having conversation relationship with them, whatever it was. But maybe that was a little tell there. I don't know. We'll find out in, several weeks, maybe months, if that was the case. But yeah, it was great. And finally, I'm Sofa King Degen. Can you smell all the IREN euphoria? I can smell what the IREN is cooking. What the IREN is cooking good. All right, let's see. We got one more trade rookies coming in here really quick, and we'll get that question answered, and we'll call it a day here. We're going on over an hour and 15 already, hour 10. Trade rookie says, many investors have sold a good part of their IREN bags in the $18 to $20 area. There have been a number that I know. Even in our Patreon group, with our Discord server that we have there, some have been stating that they have been selling a portion of it because they, weren't too sure on the whether it's going to be one of those things where it's sell the news events, right, where the results come out and people sell it, but they didn't play out that way. So yeah, some have sold, right, but they've been also up huge on profits as well. So it's not a big deal if you're up in profits. Take some profits at that point, right? All right. Okay. All right, I think we were all cut up here. So we'll see how the stock does tomorrow. Bitcoin right now is, where's it at? Bitcoin on the day is down only 0.89% so far. And the new day, we'll see where it goes going forward. We'll see where IREN goes tomorrow. Where's IREN at right now as it is after hours? Let's see, let's go back here, refresh this. It's still up 14.8% on the day, or in the after hours right now. I mean, we could be up another 15% tomorrow as well, if this holds up. So that would be a nice day. I'll take it. It'd be a nice Friday. It'd be, probably a nice Friday, or in general, it's been a nice run up here with IREN. We haven't had that since Cleanspark got to like $24. What was this, back in 2024, right? That was like one of the top performers there. There was a bunch of euphoria around them as well. And now the same as it's IREN here. So hopefully this holds. All right. But we'll cover it all. Whatever happens tomorrow, we'll cover it. We'll discuss it. We'll see how it does. And yeah, I'm happy that you guys are in it. And hopefully you guys got into it at a really good price as well. So I'm happy to hear that. And I wish you guys, another 5X on here. You guys can hopefully retire by the time this is all said and done here and enjoy a good life, because you only have one life to live as it is. So enjoy it. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you all for coming in. Love you all. I'll see you guys tomorrow.